Thank you, everybody, for being here. Will you join me for a moment of silent prayer and the pledge, please? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody, for being here for the Wednesday, November 19th, 2025 regular meeting of the school board. Can I get a roll call, please?
Mrs. D'Angelo Steele.
Here.
Sliskany.
Here.
Martindale.
Here.
Mr. Peterson.
Here.
Mr. Bosso.
Here. Moving on to adoption of the agenda. It's recommended the Board of Education adopt the agenda for the November 19th, 2025 regular school board meeting. Can I get a motion to move that forward? Thank you, Mrs. Martindale. Can I get a second?
Second, Liskini.
Thank you, Mrs. Liskany. Any additions or corrections to that? Seeing none, roll call.
Ms. Martindale.
Yes.
Sliskany.
Yes.
Mrs. D'Angelo Steele.
Yes.
Mrs. Peterson.
Yes.
Mr. Bosso.
Yes. Moving on now to the recommendation of the Board of Education to approve the minutes from the meeting of October 27th, 2025 as attached. Can I get a motion to approve those?
So moved, Peterson.
Thank you, Mrs. Peterson. Can I get a second?
Second, D'Angelo Steele.
Thank you, Ms. D'Angelo Steele. Any corrections to those? Seeing none, roll call.
Mrs. Peterson.
Yes.
Mrs. D'Angelo Steele.
Yes.
Sliskany.
Yes.
Ms. Martindale.
Yes.
Mr. Bosso.
Yes, we're going to start out with a presentation on School Spotlight with Franklin Heights Principal, Mr. Donahue.
Good evening, President Bozo, Vice President D'Angelo Steele, members of the board, Mr. Banks and Mr. Garside. Thank you for this opportunity. Didn't realize I'd bring such a crowd tonight. I appreciate all you guys coming. You guys do a great job. It is my pleasure to be here this evening. It's an honor to serve as principal of Franklin Heights High School. This is my 11th year there. It's an exciting opportunity. And I'm so proud about the community that we have, and that's what I'm going to highlight throughout this presentation. We'll start with our academic growth. I don't know how many people know the demographics of Franklin Heights. We're over 80% free and reduced lunch. We're roughly 45% white, 25% black, and 25% Hispanic, with the rest of the community being mixed among the rest of the world. So it truly is a very diverse school with a lot of needs, with the unifying factor being, the 80% free and reduced lunch. With that, though, we've strived to meet every student where they're at. So we've got a graduation rate this past year of 86.4%, which is very high. It's our highest we've achieved in the last 2 years. And probably the one even better than that is the 5-year rate of 94%. And I speak to that because that means it shows that we never give up on a student. So unfortunately, we don't get 100%. That's the aspiration of every year. But to stick with students, to get students to stick with us for that extra year, to make it to that final graduation is something that I attribute to our staff and our community to push the students there and find the things that they can drive them to be successful afterwards. Class of 2025, if people don't realize the graduation rates are always a year behind, it will be over a 90% graduation rate for the 4-year number. So we're extremely, extremely proud of that. One of the initiatives that has pushed us that far is our Algebra 1 program. When I got to Franklin Heights, we were roughly 20% proficient on the algebra state tests. With a lot of work, some data analysis, and just observations and working with them, we're able to work with our curriculum department to make some adjustments to our curriculum and our program to do a 2-year pilot that became a district program. And this past year, 51% were proficient. Now that's nowhere near what we want to get to, but in the years from 20%, that's a pretty high rate. And then the other one, so we have students that take Algebra 1 in 10th grade. They do a 2-year loop with that. What I put up there, 9th grade students, is 65%. So our students that are coming in at the level to succeed in 9th grade at 65%, which is higher than the state average. So I share, we're very, very proud of that. And then obviously, we increase every year. All of our test scores have increased over the years, and so that's something we're really proud of. And the last piece I put up there about academic growth, I go back to recognize we have a 5-year rate of 94%. So we come in with students that have a deficit just from the factors of their life. Many of them coming from countries, new to our country, and we still work with them to graduate. And at the same time, we had, I believe, 5 students graduate with their associate's degree, and from Columbus State, we have hundreds of students earning credits in CCP, and we sent some students to Harvard, Stanford, and Case Western this past year. So I highlight that we are a full spectrum educational institution, that we're going to meet the students where they're at and push them to where they need to be and to exceed at that next level. In the pictures, I have pictures of our classrooms. We have some students showing some collaboration, working on group projects, students working together on some math skills in the top picture, the science program, fully outfitted science labs. And then I was a guest speaker in one of the classes, so I go in there and help out every once in a while, add my expertise. It's limited. The other part, which is truly, I think, the best part of Franklin Heights, is we are blessed to be the only school that has a very defined feeder pattern. So a lot of the schools mix, but every student that goes to West Franklin, East Franklin, Harmon, and Finland Elementary then goes to Franklin Woods, Finland Middle School, and then to Franklin Heights. So while we are the smallest, we have a very close-knit community. And so as we grew, and having West Franklin being on our property, we reached out some opportunities to get our students there, to give their students some motivation. So in the top left, you see our students. We started a tradition that's now expanded to East Franklin as well. Our athletes, band members, cheerleaders go and greet the kindergartners on their first day of school to welcome them, help them ease their fears of starting school, and give them something to look up to. And so that's a big part of our. In the bottom, we have Deputy Eads with Luna, who is a big part of community engagement. She's a great part of our school. She really has added a lot, and it gives kids something to focus on, and it really does help in times of emotional crisis for students. In the top picture, we have Full Plate, Full Heart. We have a young man. A lot of this is done with our football program in conjunction with our communities and schools. A lot of you, I'm sure, have seen and may not be aware that we don't have an athletic boosters program. So our coaches have to work really hard, and our community has to work hard to give our students the things they need. And one of those things is meals in between school and then games. And so through the generosity of people in the community, as well as alumni, and some great work by our benefactors, our students really appreciate that. And so were given the opportunity to come up with how they could repay the community. And so they decided to start a Falcon Feed. So that has gotten quite large, with some people being aware of it, donations. And so they spend the day off they have. It's professional development day, but those students, instead of sleeping in, they come in and they expanded this program to be more than just meals, but some fair type activities. But they offer free meals to the community. And so they do a great job, and they felt like it was their way to thank everybody for helping them out. And so we're really proud of that. Below them, you see our students. We also started our class advisor started the Hallow Heights to offer the students in our community, the elementary students and them, a safe and fun Halloween opportunities, because sometimes some of the neighborhoods aren't the best to go around, and give them the opportunity to do that. And also give our students the opportunity to remember where they were, and give the younger students a desire to attend Franklin Heights and do that. In the bottom right, you see our students go over. Every month we send a group of students, about 10 students, over to both East Franklin and West Franklin, and participate in the 2nd and 7 program to read to the 2nd graders. And so that's something they really aspire to. Our kids really enjoy doing that, and it gives a lot to those communities. Up top are some members that came to Franklin Heights for our college and career fair that we held recently during the school day. And so you see we have a lot of people that were there to show our students the opportunities they have in the future. So that's part of that push with that graduation rate. Upcoming this Tuesday, a week from yesterday, we also will be doing our first and hopefully annual Thanksgiving, Franklin Heights Thanksgiving. And our goal is to give out 2,000 hot meals to our community. We've had our donors, we had some alumni that have donated a lot of money. We're going to work with the Career Academy to cook the meals, and we're going to provide them all hot meal for whoever's with them up to in the car, and then send them home, hopefully a week's worth of groceries. So we're really excited about that. So we like to operate with that belief that teamwork will make the dream work. So one more slide. Up here we have some more pictures of who we are. I highlight our students in here. We have students on a college field trip to Otterbein, expanding their horizons. We have a pep rally. It was breast cancer awareness, so we have the students really get into the pep rally. On the far right side, you see our teacher, and we have an after-school program for our EL students to accelerate them. You can notice it's a full room, so they really have the desire to be successful and achieve those skills they need to graduate and be successful. And then we have some other students that were part of that Falcon Feed. And then on the bottom right, we have some students from our Link Leader program, which is a program where we work with mostly juniors and seniors, and they are trained on leadership skills to mentor ninth graders as they come into Franklin Heights. So they have some specific training that they learn about how to transition into high school. So it's a program that helps the ninth graders come in, and then the juniors and seniors to learn leadership skills. And that's in addition to programs like Student Council will offer opportunities. So our Link Leaders do a tremendous job developing those interpersonal relationship skills, what some people call soft skills, I like to call essential skills, those leadership skills. They travel to different schools throughout the state of Ohio to do conferences with other schools that do this program. And it really has blossomed into something that really has made a big difference in our program. I think it gives our students a head start as they start ninth grade, and then our juniors and seniors get those leadership skills. So, another slide, thank you. I don't have the clicker. And that's the last slide. All right. Here we go. That really highlights, the things that we do in our school. It's a privilege to serve there. Every day is a different adventure. That when people say, I'm living the dream, but sometimes I always say, whose dream are you living? And I like to say, I'm living mine, because it really is. It's a great day. Obviously, every day is not perfect, but to see the growth in students is amazing, and the opportunity to serve is a privilege. So thank you.
Any questions or anything? Comments?
I just want to say kudos, you're doing a fantastic job there. Everyone always has great things to say about you and your team at Franklin Heights. You guys are doing wonderful work. I did want to just say something about when you said you have a distinct feeder pattern. And I think that just goes to show all of the hard work that our teachers and staff are doing, elementary, intermediate, middle, to get your kiddos ready for high school. And I think it is that family team environment that is making such a big difference. I had the opportunity to come when you guys did your the clap out through when the high school graduates, the seniors were coming through, and they
Falcon flyby.
Thank you. And it was awesome. It was such an awesome experience, and I think everybody had a great time. The elementary students were clapping and cheering on the graduates as they were coming through, and they were just thrilled to be going to the different buildings and where they had already been, and gone through. So I think all the things that you're doing there are just wonderful. Keep up the great work.
Thank you very much. With the Falcon flyby, thanks for bringing that up. I forgot to bring that up. It's really a great event. So we go to some of the feeder elementary schools. And it's refreshing to see how excited the kids are to see their old teachers and the old teachers to see the students that they had. And what it is, it's because it's that final moment of graduation when, I talked about our demographics that aren't the most easy for a school to operate with in terms of things. And all of those schools have the same demographics, right? And so they work extremely hard to get our students to that point. So it's nice to give them the opportunity to see that final moment. It really is. Thanks for bringing that up.
Tim, you always, when I'm over there, I love how you interact with the students and you know all their names somehow. But honestly, just you inspire me when I walk over there and see how you are with the kids and how you connect with them.
Thank you very much.
For them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Leadership. I like how your presentation highlighted the multiple avenues of leadership. There was a lot of different categories there and how the kids are incorporated. And so you're teaching them and showing them how to be leaders, but you're showing them that by they have something to look forward to come to school today, just how you said you look forward to waking up and coming to work every day.
Yeah.
And so when you were doing your presentation, in my mind, the word leadership was forming because you showed so many different ways on the slides how that is being done. So
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thanks. You guys can all go home now.
Thank you again. Well, we're going to move on now to board reports. Any board reports?
I do have a board report. Southwestern Educational Foundation, they are in the process of advertising. You may see a lot of advertisement out there for their play honor. I done lost my, put a pause on my brain, but it's about their event coming up in February. The talent show, Southwest, yes. I was like, talent show, what is the word? February 6th. And so they are seeking individuals to come show us your talent. So please take a look at their website. And if you're interested, sign up or encourage someone else to sign up and show us their talent. But also an additional plug I'm going to put in for the Education Foundation is we are seeking board trustees. We have about 6 seats that are open. And so we are going to be putting a link out. And we want individuals to submit their resume. And so when that gets posted, you'll see it. We'll make sure to spread it. But what we would also like for that, the foundation is the board would really like to add some more representation across the district on it. And so we're really hoping to see if we can get some more individuals from the west end of the district and even the Franklin Heights end. We will look at everyone that submit, but I wanted to make sure I share that is an area that we are hoping to try to recruit some board trustees to it. I have learned a lot even before becoming the board representative for that, but before that I was just a regular trustee, and I've learned a lot through it and everything. So I wanted to put a plug in for the Education Foundation.
Anybody else? All right, we'll move on to public participation related to agenda items, which we had nobody sign up this evening. We'll move on now to student staff achievement with the witness.
Thank you, President Bosco. This evening under student and staff achievement, we have 3 items under student achievement. The first is we want to say congratulations to the Central Crossing High School NJROTC drill team on an outstanding performance at their first competition of the year last month held at Franklin Heights High School. With more than half the team made up of new cadets, the group earned first place in Armed Platoon commanded by Cadet Senior Chief Dwayne Davidson, first place in Armed Squad commanded by Cadet Seaman Shaylin Perea, and first place in Unarmed Knockout earned by Cadet Lieutenant Devine Harp. Next, a congratulations to senior Katie Wheeler for proudly representing Central Crossing as the only student on the panel at the State House event. Civic Readiness for All, Building a Statewide Plan for Ohio Schools. She shared her perspective on civics education, highlighted her positive experiences, and offered thoughtful ideas for potential improvement to legislators. And last, congratulations to Southwestern Career Academy senior Marilee Cruz and junior Ashley Gonzalez for being crowned the 25-26 Burger Battle Champion for the creation of the Pineapple Express. The culinary and hospitality art students competed against 32 other teams from around the region to earn this coveted award. Great work. Under Southwestern City Schools staff achievements, congratulations to staff member Jenna McHale, who has been named the 2025 Adapted Physical Education Teacher of the Year in Ohio by the Ohio Association for Health, Physical Education, Recreation, and Dance. The purpose of this award is to honor a dedicated adapted physical education teacher who successfully demonstrates exceptional talent in designing, modifying, and implementing robust strategies in the adapted learning environment to support the successful inclusion of special students into the regular PE classroom to the fullest degree possible. Congratulations go out to Jenna. And under Southwestern City Schools Gives Back, ahead of the upcoming Thanksgiving holiday, student leadership at Prairie Lincoln Elementary School partnered with Communities in Schools to coordinate a Thanksgiving food drive and pack 50 complete holiday meals for families. In addition, student leadership collected new socks and underwear throughout October, gathering nearly 900 pairs that were donated to the district clothing closet. So great job, Prairie Lincoln Elementary. That's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on now for items for action under fiscal and operational management with Mrs. Peterson.
Okay, we have 7 items coming forward. First item, revised permanent appropriations for fiscal year 2025-2026. You're going to see X1. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the revised permanent appropriations. Item number 2, investments and financial statements for October 2025. You're going to see X2 and X3. It is recommended that in accordance with Section 135.14 of the Ohio Revised Code, the Board of Education approve October investments and cash position report for the month of October as submitted. Items number 3 is payment of bills, CX4. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve payment of bills according to the list of checks for the month of October 2025. I would like to give a clarifying statement under payment of bills. Due to a false statement that was made a few weeks ago, I have been approached by several community members seeking clarification. In fairness to everyone, I want to provide that clarification publicly. That is only the right thing to do when there's so many of the questions. And it is around contracts and invoices. When a contract is approved by a majority vote of the board, that contract becomes valid. And it is incorporated into the budget as an expense to ensure proper payment is accounted for. Therefore, when monthly financials, including invoices related to that contract, they are presented for approval. They reflect the will of the majority vote. Regardless of individual positions, the majority vote represents the final decision of the board. So I want everyone to just publicly hear what I had to share with several, because that is just in fairness. That's how a contract works, okay? Item number 4, for donations, CX5. we received a total donations of $80,530.29. Again, we continue to express our appreciation to our donors and that continued funds that they pour back into Southwestern City Schools. Item number 5, authorization to pay bills in accordance with section 5705.41 of Ohio Revised Code CX6. It is recommended that the Board of Education authorize the treasurer to pay bills for October which were not processed in accordance with section 5705.41 of the revised code. Item number 6 is appointment of the Rich and Gillis Law Group. It is recommended that the Board of Education authorize Jeffrey A. Rich and the law firm of Rich and Gillis Law Group to represent the Board of Education and real estate tax matters as required by law for calendar year 2026. This is CX7. A little background on this. The district has engaged with Rich and Gillis Law for years, since the 80s. The Rich and Gillis Group consistently defends and bolster our tax base by ensuring commercial properties are being taxed properly based on current market values. Their group also provides a great return on the investment and the legal fees that the district pays them. Item number 7, this is the service agreement with the Franklin County Sheriff's Office. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the service agreement between the Southwestern City School District Board of Education and the Franklin County Sheriff's Office for services for Franklin Heights High School and Westland High School for the 2025-2026 school year as presented. This is CX7 as well for this agreement. Background, the district has had a long-standing contract with the Franklin County Sheriff's Office to provide the resource officers for Westland and Franklin Heights. The Grove City, City of Grove City provides the SROs that are at Grove City and Central Crossing High Schools at no cost to the district. So Westland and Franklin Heights has to use the Franklin County Sheriff's Department. The district and the City of Grove City have a strong working relationship and have supported each other through the years. This is just another example of the strong working relationships that they have in our law enforcement staying involved for all of our high school buildings. After reviewing these items, I move them for passage.
Thank you. Can I get a second, please?
Second, Liskini.
Thank you, Ms. Liskini. Roll call.
Ms. Peterson,
Yes.
Ms. Liskini,
Yes.
Mrs. D'Angelo Steele,
Yes.
Ms. Martindale,
Yes.
Mr. Bosso.
Yes. Moving on now to items for action under policy with Ms. D'Angelos.
Thank you. Yes, we have, this is our first reading for these policies. There's one first reading for deleted and rescinded policies, and then we have 9 first reading of revised policies that we went over. And does anybody have any questions about these policies? You want to talk about any of them? Okay, well then this, I move these for first reading, move these for passage.
Thank you so much. Can I get a second, please? Thank you, Mrs. Martindale. Roll call.
Mrs. D'Angelo Steele,
Yes.
Ms. Martindale,
Yes.
Ms. Liskini,
Yes.
Ms. Peterson,
Yes.
Mr. Bosso.
Yes. We'll move back to Mrs. Liskini for items for action under student, schools, and community.
Thank you, President Boso. This evening, under Student, School, and Community, we have 4 action items. The first one is Grove City High School students to travel to New York City. The Grove City High School news broadcast students have the opportunity to travel to New York. The trip is planned for March 23rd through the 25th of 2026, and students will miss 3 days of school. Trip expenses will be paid by students and parents. Number 2 is Central Crossing High School show choir students to travel to Hurricane, West Virginia. They have the opportunity to travel to Hurricane to perform in the Excelsior Show Choir and Comet Combo. The trip is planned for February 14th of 2026, and students will miss 0 days of school. Trip expenses will be paid by the Central Crossing Choir and Theater Boosters. Number 3 is Central Crossing High School Choir and Theater students to travel to Nashville, Tennessee. The show choir and theater students have the opportunity to travel to Nashville, planned May 1st through the 3rd of 2026, and students will miss 1 day of school. Trip expenses will be paid by the students, parents, and boosters. And number 4, Grove City High School NJROTC to travel to Ann Arbor, Michigan. They have an opportunity to travel March 14th, 2026, and students will miss 0 days of school, and trip expenses will be paid by the NJROTC. After reviewing these 4 items, I move them for approval.
Thank you so much. Can I get a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Mrs. Martindale. Roll call?
Ms. Liskini,
Yes.
Ms. Martindale.
Yes.
Ms. D'Angelo Steele,
Yes.
Mrs. Peterson,
Yes.
Mr. Bosso.
Yes. Moving on now for items for action on the personnel with Mrs. Martindale.
Thank you, President Bosto. All right, so for tonight's board meeting, we have 6 personnel items involving 343 persons. That includes 18 certificated resignations and retirements, 11 certificated changes in employment status, 228 certificated employments, 170 of which are individuals. We have 16 classified resignations, 25 classified changes in employment, and 45 classified employments. We also have the master calendar and calamity day contingency plan for both the 26-27 and the 27-28 school year. And after having reviewed all those items, I do make a motion to pass them.
Can I get a second, please?
Second, Peterson.
Thank you, Mrs. Peterson. Can I get a roll call?
Ms. Martindale,
Yes.
Mrs. Peterson,
Yes.
Mrs. D'Angelo Steele,
Yes.
Ms. Liskini,
Yes.
Mr. Bosso.
Yes. Evan did say these will go live tomorrow, the new calendar, to let everybody know. Moving on now to public participation related to non-agenda items. And our first speaker will be Jackie Tomlin. Talk about habitual late buses and failure of our transportation.
Hi, my name is Jackie Tomlin, and I am the mother of 3rd grade twins at Buckeye Elementary School. I am here to address the board regarding the habitually late buses that are an ongoing problem in this district. Since my children started at Buckeye Woods 4 years ago, late buses have impacted our family and many others. Last year and this year, the problem seemed to be magnified exponentially. My children were a second route, meaning they were left at school for an additional 15 to 45 minutes after school for 6 weeks straight, totaling 43 times since the beginning of the school year. Prior to this week, in 65 school days, there have been only 19 days, or 29% of school days, where their transportation has come on time, both morning and afternoon. This is a catastrophic failure to the community who relies on timely transportation to and from school. When my children are a second route in the morning, I am late to work every time and teach in a neighboring district. When they are left at school as a second route, the administration of the buildings are tasked with finding supervision for those students as their staff is contractually allowed to leave. My son has had items stolen from his backpack, and others have reported bullying and harassment by older students as a result of the poor supervision. While I am grateful that Mrs. Caulfield heard my concerns and made some adjustments to the late bus procedures, her hands are tied with contractual times and cannot force staff to stay without pay. At the end of the day, students just want to come home, have a snack, and relax, not be sent to the gym with 200 other students to be supervised by 2 adults who also want to go home. I know that I am not the only parent who has been late to work countless times due to the continued poor performance and mismanagement of the transportation department, or felt compelled to leave work early to relieve her children. As reported by other parents in the district, bus 215, 20, and 93 to Beulah, bus 176 and 105 to Park Street, bus 157 for Richard Avenue and Park Street, bus 170 for Hayes Middle School, bus 62, 221 for Jackson Middle School, bus 173 for Highland Park, and 173 for the high school, among countless others, are routes that are habitually late by more than 10 minutes. Students are arriving to school late, missing breakfast, and missing instructional time in the morning. In the evenings, parents are reporting students are arriving home 30 minutes to an hour and a half late daily. As this is not a new problem, I am essentially on a first name basis with the Transportation Department. While I call and speak to John the supervisor or Deputy Superintendent Dr. Lusher, I'm told about the large volume of absences each day on an average of 30 in conjunction with the large size of the district to cover. These are nothing more than excuses for the continued poor performance of the Transportation Department for years. We all know the size of this district. That does not change your duty as a board to service that entire district with reliable transportation. Doing the same thing each day and expecting a different result is the definition of insanity. As a district, we have averaged over 30 absences every day, yet we have done nothing to put ourselves in the position to handle those routes every day. Drivers are being overworked and underpaid, while the same drivers call off time and time again with no repercussions. I also find it very strange that the same week I am set to address the board about this issue, the district has magically found a solution in hiring an outside agency to fill those uncovered routes daily. While my children were finally taken home from school on time this week for the first time in 6 weeks, I truly worry about what this new agreement is going to do to the morale of our union drivers. Why were they not told in advance of this agreement when you had a meeting with them just last week? While this clearly shows that Columbus does not have a problem finding CDL drivers, the question must now become, why can our district not attract and retain those said drivers? I have been anonymously informed of the horrendous pay offered to our drivers in addition to the outrageous insurance premiums. It has also been reported that drivers have been asking for support with escalating student behaviors and for consequences to be put in place with little to no support. When we know our drivers are the lowest paid around with the highest insurance rate premiums receiving zero support, is it really a wonder why they are leaving for other opportunities? Instead of providing our drivers with the support, we chose to spend money on a tablet communication system that is often unreliable and difficult to navigate, as reported by drivers. Why does the district have the money to pay an outside agency more per hour than we are willing to pay our own drivers? Why have you reached an agreement with the drivers and other support staff, yet are withholding the contract until December 6th and expect them to conduct a same-day vote while working without a contract for 5 months? Why are drivers not penalized for continually calling off and not losing their routes when they show time and time again they are not reliable to work? Why has the district allowed the Transportation Department to fail the community for years without addressing the root cause, which is failure to retain quality drivers? Change must happen. Students deserve to be taken to and from school on time with a safe and reliable driver. This happens with consistency and enforcement of established rules and procedures. The Transportation Department must do better. They must support and retain drivers who we are lucky to have and stop failing the community every single day. Thank you for your time.
I'm just going to read scripture. Well, hello, school board. How is everybody this evening? And it was good to reminisce with Bob back there a little bit today. Both of us complaining about our aches and pains of old age, and he just told me not to let the old man in. So I'm going to keep remembering that. But I think tomorrow, Bob, I'm going to get up on my roof and clean my gutters out. But anyway, we're just moving right along. And I'm going to go to Mark 16, 15, and 16. And Jesus said to them, "Go into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature. He who believes and is baptized will be saved, and he who does not believe will be condemned." This means that the gospel of Jesus Christ is to be preached to all living people on this planet, to every man, woman, and child, to every race, and to all nations of every language. The invitation to have eternal fellowship with God the Father and to obtain everlasting life through his Son, Jesus Christ, is all-inclusive to every soul on earth. but is exclusive only to those who accept this invitation. 1 John 14:6. Jesus said to him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes unto the Father but by me. 1 Corinthians 3:11. For other foundation can no man lay than that is laid, which is Jesus Christ. Acts 4:12. Neither is there salvation in any other, for there is none other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved. John 5:11 and 12. And this is the record that God hath given to us, eternal life. And this life is in his Son. He that hath the Son has life, and he that has not the Son has not life. 1 Timothy 2:5. For there is one God and one mediator between God and man, the man Christ Jesus. And this is his commandment, that we should believe on the name of his Son, Jesus Christ, and love one another as he gave commandment. Ephesians 4:5 and 6. There is one Lord, one faith, one baptism, one God and Father of all, who is above all, through all, and in you all. Romans 5:1. Therefore, being justified by faith, we have peace with God through our Lord Jesus Christ, by whom also we have access by faith into his grace, wherein we stand and rejoice in hope of the glory of God. 1 John 4:15. Whosoever shall confess that Jesus Christ is the Son of God, God dwells in him and he in God. John 20:31. But these are written that you might believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God, and that believing you might have life through his name. John 10:9 and 10. I am the door. By me, if any man enter in, he shall be saved, and shall go in and out and find pasture. The thief comes not before to steal, to kill, and to destroy. I am come that they might have life, and that they might have it more abundantly. And to turn it back to the board. Thank you.
Our next speaker will be Jennifer Marble.
Hi there. So, at our last public participation, and interestingly again tonight. Oh, I thought I was loud enough for it regardless. But a community member has used their time to read gospel verses about who is or isn't saved, and who is going to be condemned or subjected to wrath. I understand that here during our public participation, we're free to speak from our own beliefs, but we do also need to consider the impact of those messages in a public secular school setting. Southwestern serves students and families from many backgrounds: Christian, Jewish, Muslim, Hindu, non-religious, and other belief systems. Our job here is to serve all of those faiths, not any one. When a speaker uses their time to suggest that only certain beliefs are acceptable to God, it sends an exclusionary message to the students and families who are already working to feel welcome here. A lot of those students that Franklin Heights is dealing with, there have a lot of immigrant students, a lot of our schools do. If faith is going to be referenced in this room, I hope we focus on the shared values that appear across many different traditions. From Judaism, Talmud Shabbat 31a, what is hateful to you, do not do to your neighbor. From Islam, Hadith, love for your brother what you love for yourself. From Christianity, John 13:34, a new commandment I give you, that you love one another. Love one another, period, full stop. And because there's a lot of other places that appears in the Christian Bible. Matthew 5:43-48, Matthew 7:12. I'm not going to read all of these verses to you, but there's another 20 at least on this page that focus on that specific love everybody message. This reflects the core of Jesus' teachings in the New Testament, an instruction to love your neighbor as yourself with a broad, inclusive generosity that doesn't narrow itself to only those who look like us, worship like us, or fit another human being's idea of worthiness. These principles aren't about exclusion. They're about compassion, humility, and responsibility to one another. And those are values that align with the mission of a public school system, to serve all students equally and without judgment. In this room, we set the example our students learn from. When we speak and listen in ways that show respect for every child and every family, no matter their background, beliefs, or identity, we strengthen the sense of belonging in every classroom That's the example I hope we model for our students.
Moving on now for items for discussion. Any items for discussion from the board? Seeing none, we'll move on. We're going to go to executive session. It's recommended the Board of Education adjourn for executive session in accordance with policy 0166 to discuss security arrangements, emergency response protocols for the school system, to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, compensation of a public employee, and to prepare for the conduct or review of negotiating or bargaining sessions with public employees. Can I get a motion to go to executive session?
So moved.
Thank you, Mrs. Martindale. Second.
Second, Angela Steele.
Thank you, Ms. D'Angelo Steele. Roll call.
Ms. Martindale.
Yes.
Mrs. D'Angelo Steele.
Yes.
Ms. Liskini.
Yes.
Mrs. Peterson.
Yes.
Mr. Bosso.
Yes, we do not expect any more business at the board meeting after our executive session, but you're more than welcome to stay. For those that are leaving, thank you for being here this evening. Have a great evening.